everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to the Sew Essential vlog. I'm here today to bring you a tutorial on how to raise or lower a bust dart. So it's one of those alterations to a pattern that can make a real difference in terms of the fit. If the darts are in the wrong position, they're not going to, your garment isn't going to hang well on your body, it's not going to flatter your individual shape, and all too often you may find that the darts are in the wrong place. So the darts should be pointing towards your bust apex, and your bust apex is the fullest central part of your bust, so it's about there on me. Generally with a smaller bust you want your dart to finish about an inch away from the bust apex. On a larger bust you might go anything up to sort of 2.5 inches away, but then we're going into lengthening and shortening darts as well, which is another scenario which I'll talk about in another video. But for today we're just talking about raising or lowering. So I often find, having a smaller bust, that if I try the pattern tissue on, I can see that the bust dart is too low. So I want the bust dart to be pointing towards my apex, to be finishing about an inch away, and often it will be lower down here somewhere, so I need to raise it. But equally, if you've got a fuller bust, you may find that the dart is up too high, and so you may need to lower that. And I'll take you in this video step by step how to do it, and it is very, very simple. There's literally just a couple of steps to follow, so I'll show you that today. I thought as well, before I get started, that I'd just talk through the anatomy of a dart a little bit, because somebody asked recently, I talked about adding shoulder darts in on this dress, and somebody said, I don't understand, you're taking fabric away but you're creating room, how does that work? And I thought it's very relevant to bust darts as well, and I saw a fantastic demonstration of how darts work recently. I think it was Threads magazine, and they took a circle of card like this where they've slashed it, and to demonstrate how a dart works, you can see that the card, when it's just a circle on its own, is completely flat. But if we overlap those edges where I've cut through to the centre, you can see that the card starts to curve. Now I've overlapped it a little bit and there's a slight curve there, but if I overlap it more, it becomes a much more exaggerated curve. So that's why you get much deeper darts for bigger busts, and you get shallower darts for smaller busts, because obviously a smaller bust needs less room than a larger bust will, which will require a deeper dart. As I say, in terms of lengthening and shortening darts and reducing darts, that's another issue entirely. Today we're just talking about raising and lowering them, but I thought it was interesting for you to see how the darts work around the bust, and therefore why it is important that we get the dart point in the right position, because that's where the fullness is going to be. So if it's in the wrong position, it's not going to work properly, it's not going to work to fit around the bust like it should do. So as always, I shall be using my trusty Palmer & Pletch Complete Guide to Fitting book. I've got my Alpha cutting mat, I've got my Sew Easy quilted ruler, which is an absolute godsend when I'm doing this sort of work, because it's gridded and it's got lots of different markings and angles and things on it, so I find that really useful. I'll be using some Burda tissue paper, and I'll also be using scissors and a pen. So without further ado, I'll crack on and show you how to raise or lower a bust dart. So here I've got a bodice pattern piece, and here you can see the dart. We're going to pretend that my bust point is either higher or lower than the point of the dart, so we want to raise or lower the bust dart. So I've drawn a box around the bust dart like so. Now I used my gridded cutting board to do this, and there are some smaller squares here which I used, and I just lined my straight of grain up with one of the lines, and then I was able to use the lines on the board to make sure I drew the box nice and square and true, like so. So I just used my Sew Easy quilting ruler, which also has got lines and grids on it, so it just helps you keep everything really straight and really neat. And then I'm going to cut that box out. So just simply cut along the lines that I've drawn, like so. And it really is a lovely simple alteration to make, this is, but it will make the world of difference. I know I've tried tops and dresses and things on in ready-to-wear stores sometimes, and the darts have been in the wrong position, either usually too low for me, and it just was so frustrating. And you know, it just kind of encourages me even more to make my own clothes, because I know I can get them in the right place. But there we go, I've cut that dart out now. So I've still got the original dart shape there, I've still got the original extension here, and then if the bust point was higher, I would just position it higher like so, and you would fill the gap with tissue. So just make sure it's all straight and true like so. You might need to just trim the lines to match at the side there slightly, so just grade it back out to where the dart leg starts. Don't take any off your dart leg, because obviously you don't want to change the shape of the dart, but you can just taper to meet so that your seam line meets your dart leg there, and then you just tape that in place and slip a bit of tissue paper underneath like so, and tape that in place, and you've got your new higher dart position there. Equally, if you wanted to lower the dart, you would just do the same again. You'd have marked your bust point on your pattern piece so that you know where you're lowering to, and you can see there that I've lowered that dart, and then I would just slide some tissue underneath there, and then join the lines, taper the lines to join at the side seam. So I hope that shows you that it's a lovely, simple alteration to make, but it will make the world of difference to getting a great fit from your patterns. So I hope you found that useful. As always, everything that I've talked about today is available on our site, and the link to our site's below. You can also find a link to our blog where we publish lots of tutorials and tips and techniques. I hope I've given you the confidence to go ahead and give it a go, and shown you that it really is quite simple to make some of these alterations to patterns, but it will make a lot of difference to the fit of your garments. So that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe.